Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Mark, and in this video I wanted to talk about the little things that really are not so little, but they seem little, the small things that we could do every day to change the direction of our life. So this is a very profound thought and profound exercises, and I guarantee that if you start to take steps in this direction and start doing these things on a daily basis, your life will begin to manifest in ways that you could not have ever imagined. So, we wake up every morning, and generally, the first thing that happens is we start to remember where we were the day before. Maybe our problems come into our mind, things start to come up. I've talked about this in a previous video where we have that moment of clarity right when we first wake up. We're kind of getting our bearings, and all of a sudden, just these issues or things or whatever's happening in our life start to float back up into our consciousness, and that immediately sets us off into a specific direction for that day. Now, this happens over and over and over and over again, and day after day after day after day, we kind of put ourselves behind the eight ball, so to speak, and we start out with patterns that we've carried forward from the day before. And this makes it very challenging to change the direction of our lives. And not only when we first wake up in the morning, throughout our day, we kind of get into this autopilot patterning of just kind of making decisions without really being present and without really thinking about them. And before we know it, weeks, months, years go by, and we realize why, nothing's changing. Even though we may have intention or a desire to change, the more we stick with these unconscious patterns and this unconscious decision making, the more we reinforce that, and it becomes harder and harder to step away from that. So something interesting happens as that starts to go on over a period of time. We start to maybe feel resistance to these patterns. We start to get hard on ourselves. Maybe we don't feel so good because we're starting to become aware of the fact that our life isn't changing. It's not shifting directions into something that's in more alignment with our purpose. And we know that it's because we're continuing to make decisions that are really in alignment with decisions we've always made, right? That are these unconscious patterns. So that's the first key. The first key is to realize why things aren't changing. Okay, so when we do that, we could start to make different decisions. So even if it's the smallest of decisions, like when we wake up in the morning and we start, we decide as we're laying in bed before we get up, we're going to maybe take a few conscious breaths and run this up and down our central channel in our body. We're doing something different, okay? So what's happening now is our awareness, our consciousness is being more tuned in to what the subconscious is normally having us do, which is maybe just kind of sitting in bed there for a few moments and allowing the issues and the problems and whatever it may be to float back up. Well, when we can make a different decision, as simple as that, we are starting to interrupt those patterns and those processes. Okay? So now, when we do that, we're a little bit more present in that moment. And that in and of itself shifts our direction for the day. But as we get up and we start going about our day, anytime we catch ourselves in a decision, and it could be as simple for those of you that drive to work or commute to work, is making a conscious choice to take a different route. Okay, maybe you're going to you just realize, what? I've been taking this drive to work this way for many days, many months, whatever it may be. I'm going to take a different way today. Okay, and this may not have anything to do with what is happening in your reality, but what you're doing is you are interrupting the programming, the subconscious programming. You are stopping it in its tracks and you are taking conscious control. Are you guys getting the sense of where I'm going with this? We don't always have to look at how we're going to manifest something or whether a decision is right or wrong, okay? Because a lot of times, I've done this. Well, maybe if I take a different route, I'm going to run into some more traffic or something, so I want to continue going the way I was. It doesn't matter. The important thing is that you are making a conscious decision. You are doing something different. You are doing something out of that's not out of habit. You are shining a light on what your subconscious is doing. You're becoming aware of it, and you are making a conscious choice. Whether or not that conscious choice, if our mind views it as right or wrong, it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. The point is you are spotting a pattern and making a choice consciously. Okay? And by doing that, we start to interrupt that and we start to rewire our brain into more of a conscious pattern. Now, if you can do that throughout your day, let's say you're going to lunch and maybe you go to a particular place for lunch and you generally order the same thing. Maybe you want to say, you know what? I'm going to stop being on autopilot here. I'm going to make a different choice today and I'm going to get something different. Something as simple as that interrupts the subconscious programming. Okay, now there is a much bigger thing here that is far more important that is happening when we make these small choices to make a conscious decision and get ourselves out of these patterns. Okay, instead of living in this dense energy of this autopilot mode, what we're doing is we are reflecting out to the universe an awareness that says, I am ready, I am conscious, I am aware to start to receive. I am not letting my ego run my life in autopilot mode. So when we do this, we start to heal these patterns, this dense energy, and we start to move into alignment with our higher self, with higher frequency light. Now, once we send these frequencies, we feel these frequencies because we get present, we make these decisions consciously, we are sending out into the universe a message that we are ready to receive more of our higher frequency light. Now, because we are aware and we are present and we are no longer allowing our patterned responses to continue to occur because we're making decisions consciously, no matter how small, we become available to receive guidance. Okay, guidance that is always there and always present, but we don't line up with it because we are allowing the patterned mind to make all the decisions. So now when we become aware of this, we have this information available to us. So we start as small as these lunchtime decisions, maybe the route we're going to take when we're going somewhere, what we're going to do when we first wake up in the morning. And there are a million things throughout your day that I'm sure you can now think about and be like, yeah, you know what? I kind of do that consciously. Well, when we start, or unconsciously, when we start taking conscious control over those decisions, now we're available to receive. So in the moment, when we can catch ourselves and stop this patterning from making a decision for us, we have a whole new set of information available to us. And it's in that moment that we can start to receive guidance. And as we start to do this without expectation, we are rewiring our brain to connect up with our higher self. Okay? So as we start, just the simple process of being conscious and making these small decisions will lead to a knowing that will bring information with that will start to allow us to make decisions that are more in alignment with our path. And as we do this over time, you guys are going to start to see the effects begin to manifest out into reality. You're going to start to spot opportunities, maybe that you hadn't spotted before. Okay, because the programmed mind was running in programming that was so dense, you were kind of just letting it do its thing and you were unaware of opportunities that were available to you. But now you're going to start to see them, because as you stop that, it's almost like a circuit breaker. You stop that programming, you're centered for a moment, you make a different decision, and even without expectation, you're going to start to receive and become aware of information that's available to you. And as you continue to rewire and work these new patterns and start to consciously make choices, you're going to gradually notice a shift into a different path, one that is more aligned with your soul. So I'm not talking about anything difficult here. I'm talking about very simple daytime decisions. Start with that And as you guys start to realize that you have more control over your lives, that you were basically giving control away to your ego, you're going to start to claim your power back. And that's going to lead you to a sense of freedom. Because when you have conscious control over your decisions, as small as those decisions may feel, you are freeing yourself from your traumas and your patterns. And as you do that, it doesn't matter what expectations you may have, they kind of become irrelevant, because you're going to move more into the present moment. You're going to move more into the now, and you are going to be able to access the information that's available to you that is more in alignment with your higher self, and things are going to change. I guarantee it. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I would really appreciate it. Hit that notification bell. You'll be notified when I release new videos. And if you guys have any comments, I'd love to hear from you guys who have started to do this, even the smallest decisions throughout the day. Go ahead and put them in the comments. Let's give the viewers ideas of things that you're doing to make these small changes to put you more in alignment with your higher self. I'd love to hear from you guys. So love and light until the next video, guys. Thank you so much.